For more than a decade, a retired U.S. Army officer towed the line at Fox News as a military analyst, but Lieutenant Colonel Ralph Peters went out with a bang, sharply criticizing the cable network in a scathing email announcing his resignation. Peters says he was once proud to work at Fox, but now says he is ashamed. He denounced the network as a propaganda machine devoted to President Trump. But if you think Peters was some sort of sleeper cell, on the left, I want you to take a listen to a brutal criticism of President Obama's speech after the San Bernardino terror attack.
Don't be afraid. Look, Mr. President, we're not afraid. We're angry. We're pissed off. We're furious.
Yes.
We want you to react. We want you to do something. You're afraid. I mean, this guy is such a total It's stunning.
Yeah, he did. Senior media reporter Oliver Darcy and editor-at-large Chris Saliza are with me to discuss. Okay, language aside, to you, sir, first in your reporting, who is he? Tell me more about his exit.
Right. He's a very prominent Fox News analyst. He's been on Fox for years and years, done hundreds of appearances. And like you just heard, he's not really someone who's very sympathetic to views from the left. So he's got a lot of credibility within the conservative movement. But apparently he's had enough of the pro-Trump shilling that happens on primetime at Fox News. And he, said in his statement, or his not statement, but note announcing his exit, that he was ashamed to be now associated with the network, that he thinks that the attacks on the FBI, the Justice Department, the courts are appalling, and he can no longer associate himself with Fox.
Now, he'd been there for 10 years, he says, a decade, says now he's ashamed, but I mean, he'd been there long enough to say some things that makes you think, well, listen, weren't you complicit a little bit in what that place does before saying deuces?
Yeah, I mean, I think that's always the criticism is like, so why now?
Right.
But so what I think, just to pick on what Oliver's point, I do think it is of note that he specifically cites the attacks on the FBI, the courts. Donald Trump has gone to war with the establishment writ large.
Yeah.
And that includes the national security apparatus. That includes the CIA, the FBI. I mean, these are the court system. I mean, these are not fights that any past president has picked. So I'm willing to give him a little bit of a pass in that I feel like what Trump promised to do and what he has done do go beyond, and the way that it's been covered, candidly, by Fox, go beyond sort of the past calling Barack Obama some names.
Now, Fox says that they're able to separate news and opinion. Are they, though?
I think to some extent you do see still some of the traditional lines, right? Like Shepard Smith, Bret Baier, they host some traditional news programming. But I think in the Trump era, a lot of this is starting to blur. There does seem to be a lot more opinion infiltrating news there. And also the way that the commentators are lined up. A lot of the commentators who are conservative in the conservative camp, but critical of Trump, have left the network and been replaced with people who are a lot more supportive of Trump. Okay. So that's another change that we've seen at Fox. It's sort of, it changes the way that, for instance, the special report panel might analyze the news.